We start today in Argentina, where Trumpian far-right candidate Javier Milei has become the next president of Argentina. As many of you know, I was born in Argentina, have family, friends there, and as is often the case in Argentina, in last night's runoff, both options were terrible. I don't even want to say bad and even worse, because I don't know which one is even worse. One who would definitely continue destroying the country, and the other who almost certainly would continue destroying the country. Let's discuss what happened. As some of you know, because you saw it on the bonus show, Argentina had its initial presidential election in October. Failing to secure a majority, the top two candidates went into a runoff, which took place yesterday. And with almost all of the votes counted, as BBC reports, the right-winger, Javier Milei, 56%, his left-wing rival, Sergio Massa, with 44%. This guy, Milei, is sort of the kind of cult-like, there's a cult of personality around him. He is Trump-like in that way. He is Trump-like in that we have seen right-wing media figures like Tucker Carlson make their pilgrimages to him in Argentina in the same way that they did to Trump. This guy is genuinely nuts, but the alternative, Massa, which would have been a continuation of the failed Kirchner-style regimes, would also have been a disaster. The options were, and it's a horrible situation in Argentina, it really is, triple-digit inflation, no path out of the economic disaster that has been taking place there for so long. The options were Sergio Massa, which would have continued the corruption and self-enrichment and failed policies that led to this hyperinflation. That's one option, saying you made it a disaster, let's reward you by electing another one of your candidates. Or a cartoonish far-right lunatic who says he's going to dollarize the economy in a way that no economist says is possible, is doing the Republican type thing of saying, I'm going to eliminate 10 entire departments. We'll get to that in a moment. So bad no matter what. Now, was there a reasonable candidate? I mean, listen, the standards are very different. But in my view, the kind of reasonable candidate, less overtly corrupt and less obviously insane, was a sort of Romney-esque center-right candidate, Bullrich, who came in third place in the general election, ultimately endorsed Milei, which, the guy's out of his mind. So as usual, mediocre and terrible options for people to choose from. And this is almost certainly not going to go well. Here is, to give you a sense of this guy, here is Milei completely losing his mind on stage. Screaming liberty, and I mean his dancing makes Trump look completely normal. Here is the style video that Milei put out during his campaign, and again, this is very Trump-like, listing entire departments that he would eliminate. Okay, so he says Ministry of Sports and Tourism, done. Ministry of Culture, done.
Ministerio de Ambiente y Desarrollo Sostenible, afuera.
Yeah, Environment and Sustainable Development, out. So this is the Trump-like thing where they go, we don't need the Department of Education, we don't need the EPA, we don't need all of this sort of stuff.
Ministerio de las Mujeres y Género y Diversidad, afuera. Ministerio de Obras Públicas.
So Public Works Ministry out, Ministry of, it was something like Women's and Gender Diversity or something. It's all out. They're going to cancel everything. So this is going to, the incredible thing about this is that we now are seeing the Trumpification of Latin America as well. We started seeing, the reason this is relevant globally is that I have no delusions that Argentina is some kind of economic superpower, but we started to see the Trumpification of Europe years ago. And now we are seeing that it has reached Latin America. It has reached Argentina. So we will see what happens. They are going to make attempts, I guess, to do some of the things that he said he would do. He has this idea of dollarizing Argentina. Argentina's currency is the Argentinian peso, and it's increasingly worth less and less. It went from being worth toilet paper to being worth like used toilet paper, and down from there. His idea is we will dollarize, meaning we will essentially just use the dollar, peg our currency to the dollar 1-to-1. This has been tried. It was tried in 2001 and it failed for a bunch of different reasons. You can find 10 different economists. They will have 10 slightly different explanations as to why it failed. But Argentina essentially gave up control of its currency. They were unable to adjust to economic mismatches with the United States by saying we're going to do a 1-to-1 with the U.S. It led to even more economic turmoil, public unrest, worsened the debt crisis. It didn't work. Milei's idea, as I understand it, and it's like a Jordan Peterson type cult around him, where if you explain that something he suggested doesn't make sense, his supporters come out of the woodwork and viciously tell you you're too stupid to understand his plan. Well, his plan is explained in a different way every time. But as I understand it, he would dollarize at half the current peso dollar exchange rate, which doesn't make any sense. And every serious economist I've read says it will not happen. It could not happen. So the Trumpification of Argentina, I'm expecting to be there in a few months, and we will see on the ground what it is that takes place. But very, very scary stuff. No matter your genetics or lifestyle choices, as humans, we all share some basic foundational nutritional needs, and properly replenishing your nutrients daily is important for gut health, stress management, immune system, and that's where our sponsor AG1 comes in. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement. It supports your body's universal needs with something that you can easily absorb and utilize. So instead of a multivitamin or fumbling around with 10 different vitamin bottles, I've just replaced all of it with one scoop of AG1. I get the vitamins, the minerals, the prebiotics, the probiotics, all the stuff I'm looking for. It's delicious. It goes great in a smoothie. You can drink it straight with water like I do in the morning before my famous cappuccino. I've been doing it for years. You're just covering your nutritional basis for the whole day. It's simple. You don't have to buy a bunch of different vitamins. My audience knows I don't advertise miracle solutions and cures, and there's no miracle cure or solution here. It's just a simple product that works, that replaces the clumsiness and the cost of a ton of different vitamins. Go to drinkag1.com/Pacman. You'll get 5 free travel packs of AG1 and a free year's supply of vitamin D, which, as I've said, I take in the winter when there's a lot less sun out. The link is down below.